All right, guys, so we are moving toward week 6 of the NFL season already, so it means it's that time of the week. We do this every week. We do our predictions for every game that upcoming NFL week, and we look back on our predictions from the week before, add it to our overall record, and see where we're at. So let's get it going. Without further ado, you know the drill. In all likelihood, you know how it works. So let's start with our week 6 games. We start with another horrible Thursday night football matchup. Last week we had Colts and Broncos, and I told myself I wasn't going to watch, and I watched the fourth quarter and overtime, and I'm never getting that time back. It was just down the dumpster that time. Time is a precious resource, and I did not utilize it in that instance. But we have another one of these. Commanders and Bears. I shouldn't watch it. I probably will because I got Terry McLaurin on my fantasy team and nothing better to do on a Thursday night in all likelihood. But who wins this game? It's an incredibly close spread. Kind of surprising if it were the beginning of the year, but somehow the Bears have a better record than the Commanders, but I still think the Commanders are the better team because their offense is slightly better, and I think Carson Wentz is the better quarterback in this matchup. You rarely hear that, but with Justin Fields, he might be the worst quarterback right now. So I will take the Commanders to win and cover the spread and move on to 2-4, despite Carson Wentz wincing to a 1-4 record, and probably should have won last week, but he did what he does and threw a pick at the goal line at the end of the game. So thanks a lot, Carson Wentz, because I needed the Titans to lose after my Jags choked against the Texans at home. But regardless, we're going to move on to the Sunday games. Buccaneers and Steelers. You know, this one's kind of lopsided in terms of the spread. The Steelers got absolutely beat down by the Bills. I'm glad Kenny Pickett is at least starting instead of Mitchell Trubisky, and I think he'll get it going. He'll get better, but this is a brutal first 2 starts for him when you talk about facing the Bills and then the Bucs. I don't think he'll have a great game. He's going to struggle. I will go with the Bucs to win and cover this spread, especially with how great their defense is. But I'm high on Kenny Pickett. I think he'll get it going after this week. But just one more struggling week. Steelers, not in a great spot right now. They're 1-4. So I'll take the Bucs to win and cover the spread. And then we have Bengals and Saints. The Bengals, they lost a close one to the Ravens. They lost on a game-winning Justin Tucker field goal. No harm in that result because Justin Tucker is probably the greatest kicker of all time. They faced the Saints, who had a very nice win against the Seahawks. It was nice to see their offense, if you're a Saints fan, seeing their offense kind of get back on track. Taysom Hill, he had a great game, 4 total touchdowns. I think they're going to utilize him more, especially with their injuries and how disappointing Jameis Winston's been. So in the Superdome, I'm going to still go with the Bengals because I think the Bengals need this win considering the expectations they had coming into this year. They should be better than 2-3, and I still think they're the better team despite being on the road and their offensive line being concerning. I still think they win this game. I think they're the better team than the Saints despite them having the same record. So then we have the Jags, my Jags, and the Colts in Indianapolis. Earlier this year, the Jags did what they do every year, and they beat the Colts at home in Duval in Jacksonville. But they normally don't win at Lucas Oil. They don't usually win in Indianapolis, and the Colts are coming off a win. The Jags are coming off, honestly, in my experience as a Jags fan, this last loss this past week where we scored 6 points and lost to the Texans at home and lost to the Texans for the 9th straight time while the other 3 teams in the division won, it was and we did ourselves in. It was one of the most frustrating moments I've ever experienced as a Jags fan, and that's saying something. So do we bounce back and win in Indianapolis? If we learned anything from the Colts week 2, is that, we know how to get to Matt Ryan. So hopefully we do the same. My Jags bias might kick in here. I'm still going to take the Jags to win this game. We'll see how they bounce back. I'm not as confident in it as I would have been if we won last week. So we'll see how we do. Patriots and Browns. This one, the Patriots actually were surprisingly good against the Lions. They shut down the best scoring offense, and they scored 0. They held the Lions to nothing. So credit to Belichick's defense there. And then they're facing the Browns, who, they're kind of regressing a little bit, as they should, because They're probably not as good as their record indicated a little earlier this year. Nick Chubb's a beast, though, but he's going to have a tough time with the Patriots' offensive line, or defensive line, rather, and their defense in general. I will go with the Pats to win this game on the road. I think these are kind of reverse momentum. I think the Pats are kind of trending up and the Browns are kind of trending down. So I kind of like the Pats in this spot. Then we have the Jets and Packers. You know, credit to the Jets, 3-2. I wouldn't have thought. Packers, how do you lose to the Giants? How do you collapse in the fourth quarter like that, give up the lead, lose to Daniel Jones, and let the Giants move on to 4-1? I mean, that was disappointing. But this game's in Lambeau, and I just think Zach Wilson's going to have a tough time in Lambeau against a still pretty good Packers defense. So I will take the Packers to win, kind of get back on track, and the Jets maybe to trend down a little bit, because I still don't think the Jets are a really good team. So I like the Packers to win and cover. Then we have the Ravens and Giants, the 4-1 Giants. I just personally, I think the Cowboys are for real. I think the Eagles are for real. I still don't believe the Giants are for real. I know their defense is good. They're 4-1. Saquon looks great. I'm happy he does. Brian Dable's doing a really good job. But this offense, the pass game, Daniel Jones, I still need to see more. If they beat the Ravens this week, I might say they're for real. I might say they're a playoff team. But I really do think the Ravens are the better team at 3-2. And I think they're going to win at MetLife in East Rutherford, New Jersey, win this game, and I think they're going to cover the spread. I think they're going to have a convincing win, probably 7+ points. I think maybe a 2-possession win. I just think the Ravens are still a better team than the Giants, and they're going to show them who's boss in that game. And then we have Vikings and Dolphins. I mean, I would probably go with the Dolphins if they had Tua, but it's pretty much already confirmed that Tua won't play this weekend, and it's up in the air if Teddy Bridgewater will play. So there's a chance we have Skylar Thompson play, and I mean, it's just a complete drop-off. I mean, the Dolphins lost to the Jets for that reason, basically. So if Bridgewater doesn't, even if Bridgewater plays, I'm probably still leaning towards the Vikings here. So I will go with the Vikings to win and cover the spread. I just think at this point, Vikings are playing better than the Dolphins. They're healthier. So I like them winning in Miami here in this spot. Now we have the 49ers and Falcons. The 49ers might have the best defense in football right now. I mean, we knew it wouldn't be pretty for the Panthers, who are probably the worst offense and maybe the worst team in football right now, against the 49ers. Baker Mayfield looks horrible. They fired Matt Rule. So that 49ers defense, we're going to stick to the 49ers. We'll get to the Panthers momentarily. 49ers, I just think this Falcons defense, or this Falcons offense, has looked really good. They've been surprising. They've been respectable, I think. But I just think this defense of the 49ers is going to shut down Mariota, or at least contain them. And I like the Niners to win this game and cover the spread. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take the Falcons to cover the spread. I'll take the Niners to win, but I still think this will be a close game in Atlanta. I think the Falcons maybe lose by 2 or 3, 4 points, something like that. Something close, but I think the Niners will find a way to win. Then we have the Rams at home against the Panthers. Two disappointing teams. Panthers, like I said, might be the worst team in football right now in LA against a still good Rams defense. I don't care if their offense is struggling. We're talking about the Panthers offense, which is way, way worse. The Rams, I think, will beat down the Panthers, and this could get really ugly. Matt Rule was already fired, but I don't really think the Panthers have what it takes to make that adjustment, especially against the Rams on the road. It's going to be another ugly one for the Panthers offense, I think. So then we have the Cardinals and Seahawks. I picked the Cardinals to beat the Eagles last week, and I really thought they were close to winning, and I thought they would beat them. They probably should have tied the game with a field goal, but Kyler Murray slid and didn't get the first down. They had to kick a longer field goal than they intended to, and they had a backup kicker, and he completely shanked it. But the Seahawks look really good, so I think the Cardinals win this game. I know the Seahawks offense has looked way better than the Cardinals offense, and the Seahawks are playing well, but I still think the Cardinals are the slightly better team. I question the Seahawks defense. And so I think they'll win this game, but I'm not as confident as I would have been if this were a matchup in like week 1 or week 2, but I'll still go with the Cardinals to win this game. Then we have the game of the week, Bills and Chiefs in the afternoon window, 125 guys, Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. the two best quarterbacks in football. I mean, I think that's pretty much a fact at this point. And then it's interesting because I heard earlier today that the Chiefs, for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era, the Chiefs are actually a home underdog. Oh man, what a game. Rematch of the last two playoffs when they faced each other. And I think oh man, this could go either way. This is really tough. But I got to go with at least one upset. I just think at Arrowhead, being at home, that benefits the Chiefs a lot. The Chiefs looked really good the last couple weeks. And I could see the Bills winning too. It's really a toss-up. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win a really good game, a shootout, I think. The game of the week, I think it's going to live up to it. It'll be a great game that could go either way. But I think the Chiefs being at home in Arrowhead, I think they win this game. And Mahomes-Allen Part 3, I think, goes to Mahomes for the third time, in my opinion. Then we have the Cowboys and Eagles Sunday Night Football, another great matchup, probably the second best game of the week. The 5-0 Eagles against the 4-1 Cowboys, who have won 4 in a row with Cooper Rush. And you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm very confident Cooper Rush starts this game regardless of whether or not Dak Prescott's healthy, until Cooper Rush stops winning, I guess. So who wins this game? I'm surprised the spread is this favorable for the Eagles because the Cowboys are almost as good, I guess, because the Eagles are at home and they still are undefeated. But you know what? I'm going back-to-back upsets. I really think the Cowboys defense is going to contain Jalen Hurts. There's just something special about Cooper Rush and this Cowboys team. Their offense looks a little better. Their defense looks phenomenal. And I just think the Eagles, I said this last week that they were due for a loss. I think the Eagles are going to lose at some point. I don't think they're a 17-0 team. They're going to lose at some point, and I think this is the spot. What a great matchup that'll be. So I think the Cowboys pull off the road upset, and we end with Broncos and Chargers in our Monday night matchup. Can we just create a petition to stop showing the Broncos on national TV until they start playing better, if they do? Because, I mean, what are they? It's like they're on national TV every week. It's been 6 weeks, and this is their fourth national TV game. They've had a Sunday night game. This is their second Monday night game. They had a Thursday night game. I'm just done. I'm done. I don't want to see it anymore. Chargers win, cover the spread. Broncos fans themselves will probably say, they're probably sick of watching their team right now, sick of them being on national TV. I'm just tired of it. So hopefully the Chargers, or hopefully the Broncos play better, and if they don't, hopefully they stop showing them on national TV, because Russell Wilson and company look really bad right now, especially that offense. The defense is pretty good, but I just think that offense, I don't think they're going to keep up with the Chargers, and I think it could be another ugly one in a primetime spot for the Broncos. So guys, just to go over last week's performance, week 5, okay, we kind of regressed a little bit. We didn't have a great week. We went 8-8, and so we went 500, not the best week. We were 39-25 overall, so with that 8-8 week, that moves us to 47-33 on the season. Not bad, but we did go a little downhill last week, so hopefully we bounce back this week. Guys, that's going to bring us to the end of the video. Hopefully it's another great week of football. Comment your opinions on your predictions for Week 6's matchups. And like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're an NFL fan and you haven't done so already. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.